You are at Lake Rant, where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one's for Faf, who says, rant about incest anime. I feel like I've done a rant about incest in general before, maybe, but I'll talk about why I think the incest fetish exists and what's appealing about it. Because the general idea is like, you can't fuck your family, and you wouldn't want to, because IRL, these are people who you know too much about, you've had too much experience with. There's moral problems with it, but just overall, like, you might not find your actual family members attractive. But the idea of being able to sort of hook up with somebody who knows more about you than anyone else, who's been with you your whole life, who has a reason to care about you from the start, like, I think that the trope is, it's obvious why it's appealing, and I think that there's more incest just happening in the world than anybody would ever admit, particularly between like cousins, or people who are more removed than just immediate family, but who have encounters over the course of their lives, particularly in periods where they're maybe sexually active and impressionable at the same time. But like, in incest in anime, it basically is about playing up all of those reasons of like why incest would be fun or a good idea if not for the reality of what it actually is. Which is why it's always bizarre to me when it tries to kind of run away from it, when they want to insist that the characters are, they're like brother and sister, but they're not actually. They just call each other that, and they practically are. And like, I get it. I get that you want to be able to project onto the idea of that relationship and get all the good things out of it, that I said, without having the guilt of being into something immoral. And so it's like, that's the idea there. But I mean, at that point, it's no different from a childhood friend. Like, a childhood friend already fulfills a lot of those same things as a literal sibling would. It's just kind of trying to say, but we're that close. It's like we're siblings. Well, if it doesn't have the taboo of being actual siblings, then I just don't see the point. If you're going to go the route of pretend incest or whatever. Incest in anime, I think it should exist to allow those kinds of fantasies to have a context where they make sense, to give you the chance to think about what would it be like in glorious world where incest okay, and where you have a hot family members who are DTF, and there's no consequences for giving in to your perverse proclivities. That's what art should be, is a playground for us to indulge our wildest ideas and fantasies, safely, without anybody getting hurt, or without having to, or just exploring the potential consequences, even if people did get hurt, within the safety of fiction, and not having to have real people be affected by the negative effects that you'll be exploring through the storytelling. But yeah, I mean, obviously, incest anime can take many different forms. It doesn't have to be positive about the incest, even. But I think it's fascinating. I think it offers an insight into something that a lot of people have had to think about, have had to deal with in their life, that nobody is going to talk about at all.